Good morning, Colfax, and welcome back for this season's second episode of CTV. I'm Jessie Reynolds.
And I'm Trent Detmer. We'll begin by taking a look into Colfax's EDD program to check out two very special teens and what they're creating.
Before all that, we'd like to congratulate and give the best of luck for 5 young ladies who have been selected to be interviewed for the Girls State program. Caitlin Dewar, Parker Francella, Beth Goodrich, Emily Webb, and Erin Robinson.
Girls State gives young women the opportunity to learn firsthand how their state and local government works. These students have been selected by their advanced academic achievements, strong leadership skills, and interest in government and current events.
Speaking of current events, make sure to clear your calendar for February 8th and head to Sierra Hills to support the Lynn family as their father overtakes lymphoma. If you would like to attend, see Mr. Devine in the Learning Commons. You can purchase tickets until February 8th.
We hope you attend. Now let's send you off to Carson Buell and Spencer Huckins on the topic of snowboards.
Have you ever wanted to build something? Say, a cutting board, or maybe a heart for a handmade Valentine? Well, these two students, Adam and Anthony, took it a step up. They're building a snowboard. Let's ask Adam a little about the design process.
Tell me a little bit about the design process.
So I started thinking that I wanted to build a snowboard, and so we looked at other snowboards and how actual manufacturers made them, and how they were, like, because it's a bunch of different layers, so they have to be all laminated together with resin and epoxy and stuff like that so they stay together.
Adam and Anthony plan to finish the snowboard by the end of this term. Hopefully there's still snow on the slopes when it's done.
How long do you think it's going to take to build the whole board?
Probably till the end of the term, because it's more difficult than I thought it was when I jumped in, because I didn't realize there was so many layers and processes for each layer to how to actually put it together.
We also asked Mr. Schwartz what it's like to see a student build a project of this size.
How do you think the board will turn out when it's finished?
Well, I think it'll be great. I had students make skis before that I ski on myself. They ride really well, and I'm sure the board will ride really well as well.
Thanks, Spencer. Can't wait to see the finished product.
Now we take you to the guys that know all about Colfax sports, John and Max. But first we have a commercial from Jake Smothers and John McCann.
Tonight, February 3rd, our boys are going to war against our biggest rival, Bear River. 2 towns, 2 schools, 1 game. It's always a thriller. There will be limbo at halftime. Students get in for $4 and free with ASB card. Come out tonight and watch our Colfax Falcons take on the rival Bear River Bruins on Hawaiian night. Remember to deck out your gear, and we'll see you there, Colfax.
Good morning, Colfax. Glad to have you back for our second showing of CTV Sports.
We're here to give you the lowdown on what's going on in the sports world.
Last week in basketball, the boys varsity team went to Placer but returned home empty-handed. The leading scorers were Garrett O'Keefe with 25, Max Wolff with 18, and Mason Aaron with 5.
Also in basketball, the girls team took on the Bruins during retro night last Friday in a nail-biter.
But sadly, when the dust cleared, the Falcons didn't have quite enough left in the tank and lost by a single point.
On that same day, the girls soccer team rode down to Lincoln to secure a 3-0 win with goals from Sydney Bain and 2 from Maya Vasugi.
That scores the Lady Falcons to a record of 10 wins and 2 ties.
Not too shabby, John. Also on Friday, the men's soccer team took on Lincoln, but couldn't quite pull off a win.
In other sports news, Colfax Alpine ski team had a race on Monday where Callan Martell carved out a first-place spot with a combined time of 19.92.
In women's alpine, Karina Martell shredded the competition to grab first place with a time of 1:27.41.
Must run in the family, huh, Max?
Yeah. Speaking of running in the family, Destiny and Heaven Lang are competing in sections for girls wrestling today.
Awesome. Well, Colfax, it's that time in the show we got to go to a little segment we like to call the Falcon Forecast.
Now let's go to TJ Johnson on the tennis courts.
Johnson from CTV here to let you know that tennis practice is starting soon. This year we have some new recruits. One of them is Colin Sibley. We also have some returning veterans, and one of them is Carson Beal. For this year, Colin's goals are to learn how to play tennis and win his first match. This year, Carson is hoping to win his first PVL title. This is TJ Johnson, and we're going to go back to the studio.
And we're back here in the studio with tennis coach Paul Phillips.
Mr. Phillips, what are you most excited for this tennis season?
I'm excited about our returning varsity players, captains Alec St. Jock and Spia North, and also Sarah Detweiler, Tiny Det. We also on the guys' side have Hunter Klopotic and AG coming back, as well as an exchange student, Andrea, from Italy, and a rising star freshman named Mr. Havens.
And what are your goals for this season?
Goals for this season are to be competitive, and I think we have a lot of new kids coming onto the team. We have some seniors that are going to be standouts. There's also a lot of freshman girls that are interested in playing, and so it should be a lot of fun this year.
Thank you so much for being on the show with us today, Phil, but that's all the time we have.
Next week on CTV Sports, we'll be giving you another look forward at our upcoming sports and an update on our current sports.
I'm John McCann.
I'm Maxx Wolff, and we'll see you next time, Colfax.
Thank you, Max and John, for keeping us updated on sports. And if you're interested in playing tennis this season, check in with Mr. Phillips.
Next up, CTV's own Dominic Hofheinz went all the way to D.C. to see Donald Trump's inauguration into presidency, and he's going to share his experience. Take a look.
Preserve, protect, and defend. Preserve, protect, and defend.
A peaceful transition of power is vital to the preservation of democracy.
So help me God.
Presidential inaugurations have been going on in the United States since 1789. As a reporter for CTV, I was given the opportunity to experience it live.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President-elect, Michael Richard Pence.
Seeing the 45th president was a chance of a lifetime. The energy in the National Mall was electric. I'd never seen a crowd so large or a crowd so devoted to one cause. With a large influx of people in Washington, D.C., some were curious on how the president and the president-elect are kept safe. According to U.S. News, there are 28,000 policemen at the inauguration, including bomb and radiation-sniffing dogs, helicopters, and snipers. After witnessing a peaceful transition of power, I understand why it is necessary to democracy, as is a peaceful protest, political parties, and free and fair elections. We must do all we can to preserve and protect our way of life. As cameraman and reporter, I'm Dominic Hofheinz.
What a great opportunity for Dominic to be at the inauguration and share all of it with us.
Next week on CTV, we're going to look into strength training program and how it takes our athletes above and beyond.
As well as checking in with all our motorheads in Colfax Auto Shop. That's all for today, Colfax. I'm Jessie Reynolds.
And I'm Trent Detmer, signing off.